Alright, hello everyone and welcome to the tutorial of how to make a lightsaber effect in Final Cut Pro. As you can see, I have Final Cut Pro open right here as my main window, and step one is to just make a new project. So I will title this one Lightsaber. There we go. Now, once your new project has loaded, you want to grab your footage. I have a bit of older footage right here of me and my brother with a lightsaber. This is a few years old, but you're going to grab your base footage and you want to bring it into your timeline. And let's see if we want one with an actual object in the frame or one without. Now, I'm not going to have any audio because this is just for the visuals. Now, once you have your clips that you want, for example, this one, which it looks down and the lightsaber is supposed to ignite, and then I don't need it to be this long, so I'll cut it down to there. And the other one right here, where he flicks up the lightsaber. Now, once you have your two clips and at the duration that you want, and you've done all the basic editing, you're going to want to grab your... Let's see if I can find it in here. Ooh, it might take a second because I haven't used this in quite some time. Well, it looks like I actually don't have a lightsaber effect right here. Now, that might be a problem that you encounter, so all you need to do is pull up a browser, go to a new tab, and look up Lightsaber Blade. And you can find some still images of a lightsaber blade. Many of them might not have background, and if they don't, that's perfect. Like this one right here does not actually have a background, so I will take it and I will drag it into my Final Cut Pro. Well, first I'll drag it down, activate it as that, and then drag it into Final Cut Pro right there. And now we got a red blade right here. This is just a still image, however, but if you want a more complicated blade, you can, if you are a member of FootageCrate.com, as I am, they just recently added a few lightsaber effects on Footage Crate. It's underneath Sci-Fi, I'm pretty sure, and browse more sci-fi visual effects. I am unfortunately not a pro, but yeah, they've added some right here. Looping laser sword damaged red, looping laser sword green, looping laser sword red. And if you want, you can download these, and these are just videos that you would loop it on your Final Cut Pro timeline to make it as long as possible and where you need it to be. However, I'm going to only show the tutorial with the basic blade. So let's do the first clip right here. You have your blade over your timeline, and you're going to want to transform it. So now it's in transform mode, and you can move it around, stretch it, do whatever you want with the blade, like so. Everybody, that's pretty basic Final Cut Pro knowledge right there. So I'm going to go to the first frame with the blade in shot. Right there. That's where it's supposed to ignite. So right there. So now we're going to take the blade that you have and get it to the width. Now I need to get my angle correct, like so. And this is a pretty big lightsaber blade. Now I'm going to bring it down just a tad to make it easier to use. But as this is close up, it's going to be pretty thick. There we go. Now I want to get the angle correct. And voila, right there, you got a pretty basic lightsaber blade. Right there. Huh. That looks pretty good. But now, if you watch, it'll just, when we go back down here and play it, just sits there. It doesn't move at all, and that doesn't look good. So what we want to do is go by frame by frame by frame, and move our lightsaber blade. So first off, we're going to find the first frame where it fits. So that is right. Where is it? Right there. So get it to the perfect zone right there. And now you set a keyframe by clicking this button, add a new keyframe to the playhead, click that, boom, now you've got your first keyframe. Now you're going to want to start it right there. Got your first keyframe, and now you just move using the arrow keys a single frame forwards. Now you see the blade moved a tiny bit, so if you want, you can move it around. Sometimes you might need to adjust it by pulling that down a bit and changing the angle. And then you do this in a repetitive process as much as possible until it looks good. You don't have to keep on clicking this. Every time you click a frame and move it, it automatically creates a new keyframe, which is very, very helpful. You cannot do this sort of thing on iMovie unless you go in there and make each one a single frame, which I don't even think you can do either. But anyhow, as you can see, it takes quite some time. But this is just for a still blade. If we move on to the next clip that we're going to do, this one here, it's going to get even more complicated. So I'm going to reveal this in browser so I can just grab a brand new one right there. And now the clip starts with the blade in in shot. So I need to get my blade at the correct angle. Maybe shrink it a bit. Nah, this one's actually pretty big. I'll make it a big blade and I'll just, do that direction. So once you have it at the correct size, all you need to do is get the angle right. Now, unfortunately, because this is not Adobe After Effects, I don't have access to changing the angle in a three-dimensional space that the blade is in. If I did, it would make it look even more realistic. But for now, that is probably the best we'll be able to do. And it does still look pretty dang good. Not to mention, people are probably not going to even see this because this clip here is incredibly quick. It just zips up like so, and then you would probably cut it right here and have something else happen. So all we need to do is do the exact same thing now. So you set your first keyframe, you angle it where you want, and you go forwards a single frame. Do it again. That didn't change as much. Do it again, and again, and again, and again, and again, until it starts moving drastically, which I'm going to skip a bit ahead right there. So as you can see, as you can see right here is where it starts moving very quickly. So each of these frames, it needs to be moving. So you see now the blade is in this direction, so I need to tilt it and cover it back up, setting a new keyframe right there. And you can see these are your old keyframes. They're being a bit hidden, but they're there. And now I move it around a bit more. I need to make it bigger, like so. Now unfortunately, because my camera that I used to record this was only 720p, it's going to be very, very fuzzy and blurry, which might not look that good. But if you have a good camera and you have the good effects, they should blend incredibly well together. Alright, there we go. We go up one more. And you can see here that because of it's created a bit of a wave because it connected between two frames. So this will look odd if somebody pauses it right on that frame, but best we can do. And it will look very good in fast motion. So here we are. Whoa, crazy, right? So you just want to put it in the general vicinity, which is about here. And down a bit more. Angle it. Oh, you can see the blades right over there now. Still there, yep. Still there. And voila. Now I need to make it a bit longer actually, because the blade's going to get longer as the clip goes on. And there we are, and now we have a long lightsaber blade. And as the clip slows down, you just got to move it to where it looks good. There you go. Now if you want to change the color of your blade, you can do so by going to the color menu right here and adjusting with the dials in there to change the actual light of the blade itself. but I think for now I'm just going to use red. If we want to see an actual clip where I did do every single frames, we can go here to an old Tricks of the Mind that I never actually uploaded, and we can watch. Let it load. You see, I've done every single frame. And I added in some sound effects too. That actually looked pretty dang good. So there you go. That is how to do a lightsaber effect in Final Cut Pro. It is very tedious and not as easy as Adobe After Effects, but it's good if you only have access to Final Cut. Alright, feel free to check out some of the other videos on this new channel, and I'll see you all later. Thank you.